In the last video, I was talking about event wire up, how you can use two or more controls with the same event handler. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about something called view state. Remember in the last in the previous videos I have promised you about 3 or 4 times that I'm going to explain what the view state does, and this is the time to demonstrate view state. View state, we remember in World Wide Web, on the internet, we use the HTTP protocol, and they usually say the HTTP protocol is a stateless protocol, which means every time you make a web request, every time you make a request from the server doesn't really care. It assumes that you are a new person. What does that mean? It means that if you request a web page, say you click on a link and say page 2, it delivers a fresh page to you. So because it assumes that it's a new person requesting the page, doesn't know who is requesting the page. So what it means that it will be very difficult to store the values on a page. So for example, like what is going on, remember here we can turn this value to 2 because our web application remembers that the previous digit on it was 1, so it had another one to make 2. If I click on it, you can see now it's 3, then 4. The reason why this is possible is because Microsoft ASP.NET developers, they've added a feature called the view state. What the view state does is it preserves the value of the controls, the values on the controls, the states of the controls, and the properties of the controls, so that if it preserves them, so we can so it can remember it between page requests. So right now that we have a value of 5 on this button, if we make another request, even though the server will send us a fresh copy, the page view state will enable that fresh copy to be combined with the previous values of the control. Then it delivers this back to us. Now we get a number 6, so we had 6 plus 1 becomes 7. So how do you see this? If you go to source view, you can see that we have a hidden form that we cannot see. Can you see that? Input type equals to hidden, name is view state, ID is the view state, and the value is this, which is very is an encrypted stuff. So this is encrypted. So these are the things that is holding the value of our page across post to the server. Every controls inside the ASP.NET has the view state to be enabled by default, because remember the controls value are being saved in the view state, which means that the view state can become very large if it has to store, like for example, if I had, let's add a control, let's add a very massive control. Which control can we have that is really large? Calendar is a big one. If you had a calendar and we change, what can we change? Let's change the hold on. Where's the okay? I like to change the back color. Change the back color to that, and let's view it. What will happen is the color will be preserved every time we do a page. If I send that information, you see I send it to the server, the color is still preserved. What if we turn the let's turn the view state, let's turn it off for the enable view state for the calendar. Let's turn it to false. Let's see what happens. some controls, even if you turn the enable view state to false, they still works for a reason. So let's do a page request. You see, this one is still preserved, but I'll describe something else. Right, so if you want to see how much of your memory the view state is, how much information is stored in the view state, you can enable the tracing in the page directive. Let me show you what I mean. Tracing, let's enable tracing. Trace equals true. Right, so let's run our application now. Right, okay, as you can see, we have an extra information appended to the bottom, and we can see the view state byte size is very small because we're not dealing with large chunk of data, so we still have very tiny. Okay, because we haven't even had any, let me do a few requests on the server and see how is building up. Okay, now let's check our data. As you can see, now it's building up, isn't it? The view state byte size now is 20. The button 1 is 20. The button 3 is 24 bytes. So we can, let's increase that one as well, the button 1. Let's see how many bytes the view state amounts to now. It's actually not holding for, what's the button 1? 24. Now you see 24, 20, 24. Anyway, now if I disable, this is the fun part. If I disable the enable view state for the button 1, remember, if I disable it, come on, the property for button 1, it takes time, I don't know why. Button 1, right, if I disable the enable view state, if I set it to false, so you should guess what will happen. The information will be processed once. Now it has 1 on it. If I send it to the server, I get 2 because there's already 1 on it, and the 1 will send to the server, and the server will do the mathematics, add 1 on 1 and return 2. Then we will not get any more information on it anymore. So let's increase it. That's 2. Because see, subsequent clicking doesn't return anything because the data is not being preserved. So as you can see now, for button 1, no matter how much I click it, I've clicked it more than 10 times now. If we view the view state byte size, you can see that button 1, even though I've clicked it so many times, is still on 0 because the view state is not preserved. What about button 2 and button 3? Let me click them 10 times as well, so you can see that the view state takes byte size. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of byte size that it takes, but it's just to show you an example of it can build up. If you have so many controls that has to use the view state, you can see button 1, no matter how many times I click it, it doesn't really matter. Button 2, 24 bytes. This button 3, 24 bytes. So that's how the view state works. What about the calendar? Does the calendar doesn't take any. So there are some controls that no matter how much, if you disable the view state, like what is it called? There's another one called it's not I forgot what it's called. It's the grid view as well. If you use the grid view, if you disable the view state, it will still remember the some of the information associated with it, because there's they have another feature called the control state, so which is used to preserve very critical information. Anyway, that's how you use the view state. And if you don't understand what view state means before, now you understand. If you check the view, anyway, you understand. I need to get out of this video now before it reaches 10 minutes. Thank you.